Okay, dude, you ready?
I know words. I have the best words.
I'm gonna tell you guys a story about when I was going through a breakup, and it was like one of those bad breakups where you feel like you had your heart dissected out of your torso and sort of just thrown on the ground and left there to rot. So it was a bad one for me, and I didn't really leave my house or do anything for a while. I couldn't do anything for a while. It was one of those bad breakups, and you can see the remnants or the runes of what was in the form of poetry all over my YouTube channel from, a few years ago. And so I thought, hey, I got an idea. So my brilliant idea was to just eat a handful of mushrooms by myself in the darkness of my room. And I thought it was a good idea, I thought, hey, what's the worst that could happen? I do recognize the healing power of the psychedelic experience, and I did then too, and I understood that I had to sort of set my intention. This is something I've been into for a long time, just studying these sort of visionary medicines. I've been to like shamanism and stuff like that, and I'm into the perspective of the cultures that use these substances for thousands of years, and I'm interested in the way that they perceive this experience, and that's sort of the lens that I've always went into it with. And I like Terrence McKenna, so, he always recommends to take it alone. What you do is you take 5 dried grams of psilocybin alone in the dark. And that's the advice I've been riding on. I've been riding that rainbow tidal wave of psychedelic geometry since I've, been taking psychedelics. And so that's how I was going into this. I was like, I trust it. I trust the mushroom. Anyways, I took the mushrooms, and I was laying in my bed in the complete darkness, just waiting to confront this demon I've been dealing with, of this breakup. And I was emotional. I was a wreck, So right off the bat, I was already instantly just inside of myself, on some crazy deep level. I don't remember the whole trip, but I remember at one point, there was like this ball of light. I was like having some sort of psychedelic vision. There was this ball of light, and this ball of light turned into 2 balls of light, and one of the balls of light just kept drifting away. It just kept going in the other direction. And at that moment I realized, like, life isn't always going to be aligned with the way you expect it to be. It's not always going to be aligned with your expectations. People are in their own universe, and people are on their own path. And sometimes, your paths are next to each other. Sometimes they collide, and you're walking a path together for a little bit. But this is a temporary experience, life. So the paths at some point are going to have to come to a fork in the road, and that's just life. It just happens that way. And it's happened to me before, and it's gonna happen to you, and it's probably already happened to you. At that moment, I came to terms with the truth that it's all temporary, and that you're not always gonna be aligned with somebody else. Where you are is where you're supposed to be, because here you are. This is where you're at. These people, like lovers or friends, they show up for a little bit to teach us something, or to show us something about ourselves that maybe we didn't know, to show us our inner beauty. And then they go and they do it for somebody else, or they do it for themselves. And sometimes that leaves us feeling empty and using them as a symbol for our own inner beauty. And when we attach our own inner beauty to some external symbol, like a person, then we suffer. The Buddha says we suffer because we are attached. We have this problem where we attach our own self-worth onto people or whatever object makes us feel worthy. But our worth is infinite and eternal, and it's always there. You are worthy. You are worthy because you exist. You have a purpose. And sometimes your purpose is to connect with people and to grow with people, to take what you can, leave what you can't, and carry on that torch of love. And you know, this is how we are growing, and this is how we are evolving and sharing this experience through love. So when someone shows you how full of love you are, unless you're hip to it, you think that love is coming from them. You don't recognize that it's coming from within inside of yourself, and it's always there, with or without them. They are just triggering the infinite potential that you have inside of yourself, always. But we're attached. We're addicted to the illusion of permanence. And the longer that we are hanging on to something that's already gone, then the longer we will be unable to recognize the beauty in the now. So these two lights were drifting apart, and I had no choice but to accept that this is reality now. This one light has now became two lights, and it's separating itself, and it's going to, I don't know, go light up more places of the universe. This light just came out of my chest and drifted its way off into the universe, and I just watched it go, like watching somebody you love just drive away. But that's truth, you know? Everyone we love is going to drive away from us one day, metaphorically, whether that be just the weight of the world pulling you two apart, or the wrath of time just squelching this experience that we're collectively sharing. This trip showed me to appreciate that it happened at all, that I was able to experience that I was able to experience such a loving and vulnerable space with another soul. Having a soul connection with somebody else is way more of an intimate and spiritual experience than holding on to the hurt of your ego and the pain of not being able to be here now, to be in the moment, and to just let go of the past, let go of what's gone, leave it where it is, because that's where it belongs. So here you are now. What lesson is the universe trying to share with you now? What does your cocoon look like now? Ram Dass says that you are always where you're supposed to be, and never has that quote resonated more with me than the day I experienced all of this. Life is about growth and about change, and the longer we stay stagnant like a rock in the waters of time, then the longer we stay distracted from beauty and truth. So would I recommend taking mushrooms or some other psychedelic while you're going through a breakup? I think if you are willing to truly confront it in like the most pain-wrenching kind of way, like on a true, I was like crying and like in the fetal position, just having some vision of lights. I don't know, it doesn't even make any sense when I say it out loud, but it was such a profound moment for me, and I really carried that with me, and it really helped me get over the breakup, and it helped me find myself again. It helped me connect with myself on a deeper, more profound level than ever before. I had like a true spiritual realization because of it. Like, wow, you know, like how lucky am I to even have been able to experience this connection with somebody. And you know, this is how life goes. We experience these sort of connections with a lot of people. We touch souls with a lot of people, and that's, you know, just a part of the magic of the universe for whatever reason. So would I recommend it? I don't know. I always feel so like iffy about giving any sort of recommendation when it comes to taking these sort of substances, because it's so circumstantial. What works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you, and I just recommend doing research. Go do the research. Read as much as you can. Figure out if this is right for you, and then, you know, if it is, give it a go, and if it's not, find something else. So I don't know. Thanks for watching my video. If you would like to support me, I own a clothing company called Stay Happy, Stay Weird. This is a t-shirt on my website. It's actually a hand tie-dyed yin-yang, and it says Stay Happy, Stay Weird on it. See the yin-yang? I'll put a link in the description. Also, I have a Patreon if you would like to support me. Thanks to everybody that is supporting me on there. All their names are in the description below. Shout out, I love you. I appreciate you. Hare Krishna. Boing.